Chrisean Rock and Zeus Network situation is insane. Like, it's really crazy. Chrisean is even claiming that Zeus Network kidnapped her, and she posted some pretty damning evidence that that's exactly what happened. So Chrisean started off on Zeus Network. They kind of sparked her career after the Blueface, I guess, Patreon or OF baddie show. Chrisean transitioned to another baddie show, which was on Zeus, and she was on baddies for Zeus for a couple of seasons. Then she took a break for a while, and now she was set to be on a new season of baddies. This was day one of filming, and all chaos broke out.
Chrisean Rock just detonated the most chilling bomb the reality TV world has ever seen. In a tear-filled live stream that was deleted minutes after going up, she claimed she had been kidnapped by the very company that made her famous Zeus Network. Her voice shook as she begged security to give back her ID, whispering, "This is demonic. I just want to go home." Within minutes, that clip spread everywhere. Fans replayed the moment over and over, the trembling in her voice, the panic in her eyes, the guard's quiet refusal to hand over her identification. It looked less like a tantrum and more like a hostage scene. Then she said the name that sent a jolt through Hollywood gossip feeds. "Lemuel Plummer, I'm calling you out." People lost their minds. Zeus Network, the same empire that had turned chaos into primetime gold, was now being accused of holding one of its own stars captive. And this wasn't coming from a random rumor blog. It was coming from Chrisean herself. Live, raw, unfiltered theories started flying instantly. Some said she'd been silenced for refusing to fight on camera. Others swore she'd discovered something darker, something she wasn't supposed to see. Her faith journey, her decision to walk with God, her sudden rejection of violence, it all clashed with the brand that built her. Was Zeus trying to break her spirit for one last ratings grab? And just when people thought it couldn't get stranger, the live stream vanished. Every repost was hit with takedowns. Her Instagram wiped clean. Her final words before disappearing still echo across the internet. "You silence us with power. You're not silencing me. I know Jesus Christ." Now fans, journalists, even other reality stars are asking the same thing: what really happened on that set? Was this a meltdown or a message? Because if what Chrisean claimed is true, then this isn't just a celebrity scandal. It's a glimpse into the darkness behind the cameras, the one that chews people up, calls it entertainment, and hides the bodies behind million-dollar contracts. And tonight, we're exposing everything Zeus doesn't want you to see. Before the chaos, before the live stream, before the accusations of kidnapping and demonic energy, Chrisean Rock was Zeus Network's golden girl. She was their lightning rod, their viral engine, their unpredictable superstar who could turn even the dullest scene into a cultural explosion. But behind the laughter, the fights, and the fame, something darker had been brewing for years: a relationship between a network hungry for ratings and a woman who'd finally found her faith, trying to break free from the same system that built her. When Chrisean first stepped into the Zeus world, she was raw, magnetic, and unfiltered. Viewers loved her chaos. Producers loved her numbers. Every tear, every punch, every meltdown turned into millions of views. The formula was simple: give Chrisean a stage, surround her with conflict, and let the cameras roll. But what no one realized was how deeply the network structure fed off that energy. They didn't just film drama. They engineered it back then. Chrisean was still tied to Blueface. Their toxic relationship, a live soap opera that Zeus turned into gold. Through every breakup, every argument, and every reconciliation, the cameras were there. Her pain became episodes. Her heartbreak became content. And for a while, she played along. Money was pouring in, and her name was everywhere. But even as her fame skyrocketed, she started noticing the trap closing around her in early interviews. She'd laugh off questions about Zeus's manipulation, calling it just business. But privately, friends said she'd started praying more, crying more, and pulling away from everything that reminded her of the old Chrisean, the one who fought for attention instead of peace. She told a close friend, "I thought I was signing up for fame. I didn't know I was signing a contract with demons." Everything shifted after she gave birth. Motherhood changed her perspective completely. Suddenly, the money and spotlight didn't matter anymore, her faith did. She began attending church again, posting about God, refusing to perform songs or scenes that didn't align with her beliefs. She turned down club bookings. She stopped partying. She said she wanted to show her son a mother who serves God, not greed. But Zeus wasn't looking for redemption stories. They were looking for chaos. And chaos was what Chrisean used to deliver better than anyone else. The network's producers knew her transformation might threaten their formula. Behind closed doors, according to insiders, executives began debating whether her new image would hurt their ratings. One allegedly said, if she's not fighting, she's not profitable. Still, they knew they needed her. She was the face of the franchise, the name that made baddies trend every week. So they made her an offer she couldn't refuse, $200,000 to return for another season with full creative freedom. Or so they said. To Chrisean, it sounded like a chance to show her growth, to prove she could be in the spotlight without losing her soul. But what she didn't realize was that Zeus had no intention of letting her rewrite their story. Day one of filming was supposed to be her big comeback. Instead, it turned into her breaking point. From the moment she arrived on set, she felt it. The tension, the whispers, the setup. She later said she felt darkness in the room. Producers allegedly told her they wanted a heart-to-heart scene with her sister. But Chrisean claims she instantly knew what was happening. They wanted a fight, she said. They wanted blood. According to witnesses, the production team kept pushing, pressuring her to confront old wounds on camera, bringing up painful family drama she'd begged them to avoid. At one point, she reportedly shouted, "This ain't God's plan. Y'all trying to make me sin for a storyline?" That was the start of the unraveling. Chrisean walked off set multiple times that day, crying, praying, trying to calm herself down. But every time she tried to leave, producers followed. Security blocked the exits. Phones were confiscated. And when she finally demanded her ID so she could go home, they refused. That's when she hit go live. In real time, millions watched her meltdown unfold. The raw fear in her voice, the desperation in her words, it didn't sound like acting. It sounded like someone trapped. "This is demonic," she screamed. "Give me my ID." The security guard replied calmly, "I was told not to give anyone their ID. You'll have to call Lemuel." Her followers watched in horror as the feed cut in and out. Some thought it was connection issues. Others thought it was interference. By the time the live stream ended, her account had gone silent. Hours later, Zeus issued a statement dismissing her as unstable. They claimed she had erratic behavior and was compromising the integrity of production. But fans didn't buy it. They'd seen too much and heard too much. And the more people looked into what really went down that night, the more sinister the story became. Because what started as one woman's emotional live stream was about to explode into something far bigger, something that would make fans question whether the reality they've been watching for years was ever real at all. What happened after that? Livestream didn't feel like a normal celebrity meltdown. It felt like the moment a network lost control of its own monster. Within hours, Zeus Network's statement was live on every tabloid site, coldly calling Chrisean erratic and unstable. But the internet had already chosen sides. Clips of the live stream, reposted by fan pages before they were taken down, racked up tens of millions of views. People weren't just gossiping anymore, they were furious. The comment sections were brutal. "How are you going to call it reality when you're holding people hostage?" She begged for her ID on camera. That's not acting. They wanted her broken because a healed Chrisean don't sell subscriptions. Chrisean don't sell subscriptions. By morning, anonymous insiders began talking to blogs. One source told the Daily Juice they treat her like a lab rat. They feed her chaos and film the breakdown. Another alleged that producers offered cash bonuses to any cast member who could get her to snap. And then the first leak dropped. A cloud folder titled baddies_prod_calls started circulating on Reddit. Inside were voice recordings of conference calls between Zeus staff. One male voice, allegedly an executive, said, "We need her crying before episode 1 airs. Viewers need to see the struggle." Another chimed in, "She's a liability, but she's our best one. Keep her close." Zeus immediately denied the files were real, but the damage was done. Hashtag #FreeChrisean started trending. TikTokers made montages of her praying on camera, calling her a warrior trapped in Babylon. Meanwhile, industry bloggers began using a new phrase to describe Zeus: the demonic network. Then a new video surfaced, blurry but unmistakable. It showed Chrisean at the airport days before filming began, pacing with her phone pressed to her ear. In the clip, she can be heard saying, "They're not going to let me leave when I want to." Fans slowed it down, enhanced the audio, and froze the frame at the moment she looked straight into the camera like she knew it was recording. At that point, the story had jumped from gossip to national conversation. Entertainment Now invited former reality stars to talk about contractual captivity. One ex-contestant from another Zeus show claimed she'd also been kept on set after threatening to quit. Another revealed producers confiscated IDs for safety reasons, but even she admitted it felt wrong. Meanwhile, Chrisean was nowhere to be found. Her phone was off, her team unreachable. Paparazzi parked outside her old LA apartment reported that the lights hadn't been on for days. Then, an anonymous message hit an influencer's inbox. "You don't understand. She found something. The network isn't what it seems." No one could verify it, but that didn't stop speculation. Fans started tying her story to other missing pieces of Zeus history. Ex-employees who vanished from credits. Lawsuits that were quietly settled. Cast members who spoke out and then went silent. And then came the twist that sent the whole thing spiraling. A hacker group calling itself the Lightkeepers claimed they had obtained security footage from the night of the alleged kidnapping. They posted one still image, a time-stamped frame showing a woman matching Chrisean's build standing in a hallway, surrounded by 3 people in black suits. The caption read, "She wasn't alone." But she wasn't free. Zeus immediately threatened legal action, calling the image fabricated. But as lawyers argued and fans speculated, a pattern began to emerge. Everything that tried to silence Chrisean seemed to vanish her lives. Her posts, her videos, yet the leaks kept coming from somewhere. And now, whispers inside Hollywood suggested something even scarier, that Chrisean hadn't just been silenced. She'd been recording the whole time, because according to one supposed insider who spoke to Radar West, there were multiple off-contract cameras hidden in her dressing room and hotel suite. Cameras that she allegedly installed herself. If that's true, then Chrisean Rock isn't just a victim in this story. She might be the one holding the receipts that could burn Zeus. Networked to the ground, the leaks came faster than anyone could keep up with. By now, the internet had split into factions. Those who believed Chrisean Rock had been silenced by a corrupt network, and those convinced she'd staged the entire thing for revenge. But that divide didn't matter anymore, because what dropped next sent both sides into a tailspin. An anonymous aesthetic user posted a 90-second audio clip titled "Behind the Curtain." In it, 2 voices, one allegedly belonging to a Zeus producer. The other, unidentified, could be heard discussing Chrisean's breakdown on set. The first voice said calmly, "We need to keep her until we get closure footage." The second replied, "She's threatening to call the cops." And then the producer's voice, cold and quiet, "Then make sure she can't." That one line tore the internet apart. The clip racked up over 5 million plays in an hour before moderators deleted it, but it was too late. Everyone had heard it. The idea that a billion-dollar network could physically restrain a reality star for a storyline was unthinkably, and yet, there it was, echoing across every feed. Zeus issued another denial, but the statement was boilerplate. "We take these allegations seriously, but the material circulating online is doctored." Fans weren't convinced. Screenshots of the waveform, the metadata, even the file's geolocation all pointed back to Los Angeles, recorded this same night. Chrisean went live begging for her ID. Then came the photo leak. Someone inside the production sent a blurred image of a whiteboard labeled Baddie Storyline Schedule. Underneath the date for day 1, confrontation scene. One note read, "Ensure emotional peak. No exit permissions until wrap." The image went viral. Hashtags like #ZeusGate and #LetHerLeave trended for days. Activists began tagging celebrities, pastors, and journalists, demanding accountability. One journalist from The Observer even claimed to have spoken with a lawyer, representing multiple women planning a joint lawsuit against the network. But in the middle of all this, something unexpected happened. Chrisean's pastor, Mike Freeman, went live from his church. His sermon wasn't about faith or forgiveness, it was about spiritual warfare in entertainment. He never said her name, but the timing was too perfect to ignore. He looked directly into the camera and said, "They use power to silence, wealth to destroy, and fear to control. But when light enters darkness, evil flees." The clip went viral instantly. Fans flooded his comments with crosses and prayer emojis. Even people who had doubted Chrisean before started to believe her story wasn't just about bad contracts or greedy executives. It was about something deeper, something evil. And that's when a new account appeared on X, the username @RockWitness. The bio, she wasn't lying. The account began dropping fragments, texts, messages, audio snippets, behind-the-scenes photos every few hours, each one more damning than the last. One message appeared to be from a Zeus staff member. "Tell Lemuel she won't stop praying. She's scaring the crew." Another leaked screenshot, allegedly from an internal chat read, "Do not return her personal items until we complete." Episode 2. The internet went nuclear. Every outlet from Rolling Stone to The Shade Room ran the story. Anonymous sources started coming forward, saying the kidnapping wasn't literal, but it was real. They said Zeus had used control tactics, confiscating phones, IDs, and transportation options to keep cast members on set. But just as public outrage reached a breaking point, the @RockWitness account vanished, deleted mid-post. Fans who had notifications on said they saw one last tweet before it disappeared. "They found me." From there, everything went dark. That same night, news broke that Zeus Network's Los Angeles headquarters had been evacuated due to an unspecified security incident. No one knew what it meant: bomb threat, hacking attempt, or something worse. But by morning, one detail leaked. A hard drive had been taken from the building. Its label, Project Faith, raw cut. Speculation exploded. What was Project Faith? Was it Chrisean's footage, a secret documentary, or proof of everything she'd been saying? Meanwhile, people who had worked on Baddies began telling their own stories anonymously. A makeup artist said she'd been asked to keep wipes ready in case cast members cried too early. A production assistant claimed that a psych team was supposed to be on set but never showed. Every new piece painted the same picture: a network addicted to exploitation, and a woman trying to claw her way out of its grasp. And then came the bombshell twist. A video titled Her Confession, uploaded to YouTube under the name @TruthAndFaith. It showed Chrisean sitting in a dark room, speaking softly into her phone. "They thought they could bury me, but I kept the receipts." Then the screen went black. Viewers froze. Was this recent? Was she safe? Was she teasing something coming next? Whatever the truth was, that clip reignited every conspiracy, every fear, very theory. Because if Chrisean Rock really did keep the receipts, someone out there is terrified of what she's about to show. Terrified of what she's about to show. The investigations had just started to pick up speed when the biggest shock of all hit. The Project Faith hard drive that had been stolen from Zeus. Headquarters reappeared, not in police custody, but online. A torrent file titled raw_cut_truth_final.zip began circulating on dark web forums, claiming to contain unedited footage from the Baddies set, before authorities could take it down. A handful of clips leaked onto mainstream platforms. In one, Chrisean sits under harsh studio lights, clearly exhausted, whispering to someone off camera, "They told me I couldn't leave until I cried." Then the camera pans briefly. A man's voice answers. That's what the viewers want. It wasn't just incriminating. It was horrifying. The footage confirmed what she had said all along. Newsrooms scrambled to authenticate the clips. Variety published a half-hearted piece saying, "We cannot verify the source, but the timestamps appear genuine." Within hours, Zeus's PR team issued cease and desist letters to every outlet that mentioned it. Yet the footage kept multiplying across mirrors and re-uploads faster than takedowns could catch them by evening. Protesters had gathered outside Zeus's studio gates, holding signs that read, "Reality isn't entertainment and justice for Chrisean." Police arrived, but the crowd wouldn't move. Live streams from the protests racked up millions of views as former cast members joined the march. One of them, wearing a hoodie pulled low, said into a camera, "They made us sign things that said we could never talk." But she talked. That's why they came for her. And then silence again. Every stream, every protest feed froze at the same moment. Screens flickered. A red connection loss symbol blinked. And when the feeds came back, the protesters were gone. Only empty barricades remained. Users across social media panicked. What had happened to everyone there? Minutes later, an anonymous post appeared on X from a verified news producer. Zeus building evacuated. FBI presence confirmed. Suddenly, this wasn't a gossip story anymore. It was national. Within 24 hours, federal agents executed search warrants on Zeus's LA and Atlanta offices. Insiders said hard drives, contracts, and NDAs were seized. But in a strange twist, none of the footage from the leaked hard drive appeared in the warrant inventory. It had vanished again, erased from every mirror, and then, out of nowhere, Chrisean's voice returned. A new video dropped on an anonymous YouTube channel titled Rebirth by CR. It opened with a black screen and her whispering, "You can't hide the truth in a cloud. I have put copies everywhere." The video cut to static. Then a single image of her holding a Bible, eyes swollen but defiant. Text appeared on screen. "The next file unlocks when they deny me again." The upload ended abruptly, leaving millions of viewers staring at a blank screen, hearts racing. Comment sections erupted with panic and theories. Was this a countdown? A coded message? Proof that she was alive and orchestrating the leaks herself? Within hours, Zeus Network released its most desperate statement yet, calling her a manipulated individual suffering from delusions and accusing outside actors of exploiting her faith. But the internet wasn't buying it, because now wasn't just Chrisean's word against Zeus. It was video, audio, leaked contracts, FBI investigations, and a mysterious digital trail that led somewhere far bigger than reality TV at exactly 11:11 p.m. The same time every leak had dropped before. The Rebirth channel banner changed. One word appeared across the top: judgment. The screen glitched once more, and a countdown timer started. 72 hours until zero, no. One knew what would happen when it reached the end, but one thing was certain. When that clock hit zero, the truth about Chrisean Rock's Zeus Network, and everything hiding behind the cameras, would finally be unleashed. After everything we've just uncovered, the deleted footage, the missing protests, the countdown that's ticking toward zero, the only question left is, what happens when the clock runs out? Because if what Chrisean Rock promised in her final message, "the next file unlocks when they deny me again," is real, then we might be standing on the edge of one of the biggest reality TV scandals in history. And now it's your turn to weigh in, do you think? Zeus Network really tried to silence Chrisean Rock, holding her captive and manipulating her image for profit. Or did Chrisean plan the entire thing herself? It's a perfectly timed act of revenge against the people who built her career and broke her spirit. Was Project Faith an expose or a trap? Drop your theories in the comments below, because at this point, the viewers are the investigators. Every screenshot, every clip, every countdown frame could be another clue. Hit subscribe, tap that notification bell, and stay locked in, because when that timer hits zero, We'll be right here breaking it all down frame by frame, leak by leak. And remember what she said before it all went dark? You can't hide the truth in a cloud. She's still out there, and if those files are real, then what's coming next won't just expose Zeus Network. It'll expose the entire industry. Stay ready, because Judgment Day might be closer than anyone thinks.